I hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to my channel. Well, it's evening again because it took me all day to decide what I wanted to make. But today I'm going to make a pineapple upside down cake from scratch. Now, I've never made one, if you believe that. I couldn't even believe it. I started thinking about it. I said, I've never made a pineapple upside down cake. The trick, I think, is going to be flipping it out of the pan. But this one's, I've been researching it a little, and you could totally use a yellow cake mix, and it would be delicious also. But I wanted to do it from scratch. And the recipe that sounds the best to me is a magazine. I think it might be All Recipes or one of those magazines. But anyway, I thought it's got a couple of ingredients that are a little bit different. But I thought I'd bring you along because I haven't baked a cake in a while, so I'm very excited. And we finally got a little cool weather, so I could turn my oven on today. But anyway, I don't want to make the video too long, so I have everything measured out. And I'm ready to get started, and let's go. Crazy around here, but I have my oven preheated to 350. Actually, I'm doing 325 convection. We'll see. I've been trying to practice on convection, but we're gonna put 2/3 cup of unsalted butter in the pan. And you could also use fresh pineapple, but I'm gonna use canned today. I had a recipe that in my Cook's Illustrated book they call for a fresh pineapple, but I like the flavor of the cans better sometimes because it's hard for me to find the pineapple that's really good. So let me melt this, and I'll tell you the ingredients as I go, but I'll also list them in the description box. So I have 1 cup of packed light brown sugar, and I'm going to try using this pan. I think maybe it'd be easier to flip it out of this pan. I don't usually use these pans, but I'm going to try it today, and I'm always put mine on a baking sheet because this pan's shallow, so hopefully it will work out. So I'm going to heat my butter. I'm going to turn that on high. I'm going to throw my brown sugar in here. Now, if you were using fresh pineapple, you'd want to cook it a little bit. Yeah, we haven't been baking too many sweets lately because we've been trying to eat a little healthier, but every once in a while, I'll just have to bake something because it's just so much fun. So basically, you're just going to melt the brown sugar and pour it in the pan. So once this melts, we'll pour it in the pan. I just let it bubble up just for a second. And I'm going to just pour this at the bottom of this pan. And it's very buttery, so it's going to be good. And another thing I liked about this recipe is it calls for some chopped pecans, which I thought would be a really nice addition. I'm just going to spread this out. And then we're going to lay our pineapples out on the... And I'm just going to use, I ate one of them, so I hope I have enough. I'll just put them in here. I don't know, I might have to open some more pineapples. I'm a little bit short. But I am saving this juice also for another recipe. Okay, let me see if I have a can of pineapple slices. And one more little can. It took me a little while to search for it. My husband actually had to find it for me because I couldn't find it. But I just wanted it to be just right. And I think I can fit one more right here. Oop, that's hot. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm in a hurry. I'm always in a hurry. I don't know why. It's just the way I do. Okay, perfect. Now here's some little maraschino cherries, and you just put one in the center, or you could leave them out if you don't like the cherries. I like the cherries. So after this, all we do is mix the cake ingredients together and pour it over here, and we're done. Just have to wait for it to bake. Okay. And I have a couple of extra cherries, but I think I'm gonna just use that. And now we're gonna sprinkle. I probably should have chopped these a little finer, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna sprinkle them kind of in the holes a little bit, if I have the patience to do that way. I'm not sure if they don't really tell you where to sprinkle on the directions, so I'm just kind of doing my own thing. And these, you could probably use walnuts or whatever that you prefer. We like pecans a lot, and plus I have a lot of them I need to use. Just gonna put them in the little holes here. But to me, but the brown sugar and the pineapple is gonna be so good together. A little bit there. I didn't want to cover up my pineapples too much because they're so pretty. Got a couple more, and I didn't measure it exactly. It's supposed to be a half a cup. I just kind of grabbed a handful. I got a couple more and I'm almost done. Okay. Just pour those in here. Some spots have more than others. I'm just gonna press them down a little bit. Okay, so let's move over. I'm gonna use my mixer because it's quicker. So we're gonna just mix the ingredients, and I'll tell you the ingredients as we go. This is the in total you use 1 cup and a third of butter. So this is the other third, and I'm gonna mix that, and it's softened to room temperature. And this is 2 cups of sugar. So we're just gonna cream this together. I'm gonna cream it really well. Cream this. It's not a lot of butter, so that's the best I could do for the creaming. It'll get creamier when we put the eggs in. Now all my ingredients are at room temperature, by the way. And I have 2 eggs. It calls for 2 large eggs, but I have 2 extra large eggs. And I'm just gonna put both of them in. And I'm also gonna put my teaspoon of vanilla, and this is my favorite vanilla bean paste. And I just eyeball it. I just love the taste of the vanilla. So let's mix this. Oh, I'm gonna mix this. I'm gonna let it get pretty creamy, but my mixer's loud, so I'll bring you back when it gets really creamy. As you can see, it's pretty creamy. Now we're gonna move over here. Sorry about my mess in the kitchen, but I have my dry ingredients, and this is 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm gonna put that in. And it calls for 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and a half teaspoon of nutmeg. And I don't want a strong cinnamon flavor, but when I write the recipe in the description, I'm gonna put the ingredients that the magazine has. But I'm gonna use just half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm not gonna use nutmeg today. And in this one, I have a half teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of baking soda. So just mix all of these. I'm gonna mix it with a whisk. It's a pretty simple batter. I had never seen cinnamon. I know it's probably going to go well. And next time I try, I'll probably do the nutmeg and the cinnamon. But I wanted to keep it just a little simpler on this first try of mine. My husband couldn't believe that I've never made this cake before. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, really. So let's move over to the mixer. Okay, and I have 1 cup of buttermilk. And this is whole buttermilk. I don't think it matters. It doesn't say. But we're going to alternate the flour and the buttermilk. So I'm just going to put some flour in. And you know how I always spill lately. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. That drives me nuts. You got to be careful with how much flour you spill. Okay. Now I got my mixer all dirty. I'm kind of OCD about stuff like that. So let's mix this. I'm going to put a little buttermilk in. I'm actually going to put half in. I love cakes that use buttermilk. I don't know. I just love the way the texture buttermilk gives and the flavor. So let's mix that real quick. Sorry about my mixer, but I just wanted to show you how I was going to alternate. And scrape your bowl. You always want to scrape the bottom. My bowl, this mixer does really well at the bottom. I never really have like a clump of butter or anything. Let's put some more flour in the bowl this time, Teresa, and I'll try not to miss. And I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my buttermilk in right now. Let's mix that up. I got the flour everywhere. Mix that well. And you can see it's a light color. Okay, that looks great. Let's go ahead and put the rest of our flour. I find that these little bowls, it's hard for me to get all the flour. I'm just gonna push it out with my hands since I'm already full of flour. And I didn't wear an apron today. All right. Turn it back on. Let me mix this and then we'll pour it in. And I always like to give it one final stir to make sure all the, you know, I really was contemplating baking this in a round pan because my cake dishes are for round pans only. I don't really have a serving platter for a 13 by 9, but that's okay. I'll probably just flip it in one of my sheet pans, which I love my sheet pans. Okay, let's try to pour this evenly. It's pretty thick. And the directions say it should take about 40 minutes. You could also do this in, I think it's at a 12-inch cast iron skillet. Now, if you do it in the cast iron skillet, I think it said it takes 50 minutes for some reason. It looks like it's going to be a pretty thick cake. There's another recipe I want to make. It's a pineapple sheet cake with a cream cheese frosting. And I'm probably going to save the juice for that recipe. Let me know if you guys want to see more cakes or something else, more Cajun food, or just let me know what you guys like to see, more bread. Because I like making everything. Sometimes I'm not sure about what to video. I want to make sure it gets all the way to the edges. And I did grease this pan, but it said you didn't have to. I like to get all this off, sorry. My hands are impeccably clean. And when we put it in here, we're going to give it a little shake. I want to make sure everything's covered. Get that off again. I'm going to give it just a little shake, a little tap. And here's what it looks like. Looks good. So let's put it in the oven. And I'm going to set my timer probably for 35 minutes. And I'm going to put it on the middle rack. So we'll see you then. It baked for 45 minutes, and you can see it springs back when I touch it. I also did the toothpick test, and it comes out clean. You can, whoops, see that. So I'm gonna let it says you can dump it out immediately, but I'm gonna let it wait for about 5 minutes, and then we'll pray that it comes out all in one piece. This is how I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna use this. This is an old Jelly Roll pan I have. I'm just gonna cover it with parchment paper, and this pan's hot. Very hot, but I'm going to try to grab it anyway. It's kind of, actually I can't grab it, Brad. Sorry. No, the parchment paper's coming off. You just kind of tap it, and then you might want to do something so you don't burn yourself too bad. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. So happy. Look. So I'm going to let it cool off just a little bit. You can eat this while it's warm. But oh, I'm so happy with it. It's going to be so delicious. So we'll be back for a taste test. See you in a minute. Okay, here's a little piece, and it is still warm. And it looks just lovely. I'm so excited. Yeah, I can't believe I've never made this, but it's gonna be so delicious. And who doesn't love brown sugar and butter? And it's kind of hot, so pretty hot. But the cake is not overly sweet, and you have the brown sugar, which is sweet, and the pineapple. This, I can taste the cinnamon just a little. Next time I'm going to try to add the cinnamon, but I really like it this way. This is definitely a keeper. I think the pecans are just such a nice touch. Sorry. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't too long. I'm trying to shorten them a little bit. But please subscribe if you haven't for more delicious recipes. And let me know what you want to see if you have anything in mind. I'll do my best. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.